All right. Hey, this is Jeremy, and it's today's 5 for 5. As Pastor Eric mentioned yesterday, we are outside this week, a lot of us, for sports camp, and it is hot. Wow. But you know what? I found some shade here, and it feels pretty good. And I am excited to share with you today's 5 for 5. All of our pastors are working through the book of James this week. We hope you're reading along with us, and I get the opportunity to share with you from James chapter 4. Reading through this chapter, there are three major sins that really jump out the pages. The first one is our earthly desires. The second one is slandering others. And the third one is boasting. And really all three kind of weave together. I'll show you how as we work through the chapter. James chapter 4, verse 1. What causes fights and quarrels among you? Don't they come from your desires that battle within you? What are these desires that battle within us? It's these earthly desires. Things that we want that we don't have, that causes us to be at odds with other people. We look at others and we think, oh, I want their riches, their money. I don't have that. Ooh, I want their opportunities, their success, their job. Why don't I have that? Ooh, I want their spouse, their family situation. How come I don't have that? Those are earthly desires where we want something that doesn't belong to us, and it causes us to be at odds with others. In fact, James really got on to the readers here. In verse 4, he says, you adulterous people, don't you know that friendship with the world is hatred toward God? Like when you want what the world tells you you're supposed to have, when you want what everybody else has, you're being unfaithful to God. He's already given you so many good things. Accept what he's given you. Be thankful for what he's given you. And don't be looking around at others. In fact, we shouldn't even talk bad about others, the slandering others part. Listen to this, verse 11. Brothers, do not slander one another. We're not even supposed to go around pointing out what's wrong in others. We need to worry about ourselves. It's so easy and sometimes so much fun to get with a little group of people and say, look at this person. Look at what they've done wrong. Look at what they do wrong. And it makes us feel all high and mighty. There's only one who's high and mighty, and that's God. There's only one who can sit around and point out all the wrongs in other people, and that's God. I need to worry about me and what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong and what my motives are. If I see other people aren't even pulling their own weight or doing what they're supposed to be doing, hey, that's between them and God. I'm going to be accountable to God, and I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do for him. Hey, I've got enough to worry about in my own life to go around pointing out what's wrong in other people. And then finally, the last sin that really jumps off the pages in James chapter 4 is boasting. That's right. James talks about, in verse 13, how we don't need to be saying, I'm going to do this tomorrow, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. Maybe you're somebody who has a lot, and maybe you look around and say, this is what I'm going to do with my money, and this is what I'm going to do with my time. Woo! We're not God. We don't know when our life is going to end, how much longer we have, how much longer we're going to have this job or our success. We don't know that. But in verse 15, James says, instead, you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and we will do this or that. We need to be careful before we go around boasting about what we have and what we're going to do and say, hold on, if the mighty one, if God allows me to, I will do this with what he's given me. Now, what's the cure for all these? What's the cure for earthly desires, slandering others, boasting? In James chapter 4, it's humility. In verse 10, we read, humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up. In verse 7, we read, submit yourselves to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. That's right. We need to humble ourselves. We need to stop wanting what others have and be humble and be thankful for what God's given us. We need to stop talking bad about others and be humble. And remember that we got a lot going on ourselves, and we are accountable to God. We need to stop boasting about what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. And remember, God's given us everything, and everything can be taken away just like that, including our own very lives. We need to be careful how we want things, how we talk about things, and how we do things. We need to make sure that we're doing good things for the Lord. In fact, that's the last verse in James chapter 4. Anyone then who knows the good, he ought to do it. And if he doesn't, it's sin. All right. I hope you guys have a great, great weekend and a great day today. See ya.